Hey booktubers, it's the Hufflepuffle here, and this is 10 bookish tropes I can read from here, inspired by 10 Things I Can See From Here by Carrie Mack. 10 Things I Can See From Here by Carrie Mack is a story about a queer girl with anxiety who's just really having a tough time, and I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the book and I wanted to do a video inspired by it. I'm not sponsored, by the way. I was not sent this book. I bought the book with my own money because I was excited about a book with anxiety. So I am not sponsored to do this, but I did enjoy the book and I wanted to talk about it. And I wanted to do a video inspired by it. So I'm going to talk about 10 different bookish tropes in this video. 5 of them are bookish tropes that I like, and 5 of them are bookish tropes that I'm tired of seeing or I only like in certain scenarios. Number 1, enemies to lovers. Enemies to lovers is one of my favorite tropes, as long as it's not abusive. So there are instances where you can have like abusers to lovers, and that's not okay. But enemies to lovers and more of a like, I hate you, but no I don't, I actually love you situation. I love that. I'm a sucker for a good enemies to lovers story. The next trope that I love is a plot twist they're gay. Now, don't take this the wrong way. Sexuality should absolutely not be a plot twist. However, one of my favorite tropes is when a book starts and there are 3 friends, 2 boys and 1 girl, or 2 girls and 1 boy, and you think that the one is going to end up with one of the 2, but the 2 actually end up together, and it's like, yeah! Number 3, the quest for honor. So one of my favorite tropes is the quest. I'm a sucker for a good quest. I mean, Lord of the Rings, I love a good quest. Quests are really fun, and because I mainly read high fantasy books, I think that also really helps my love of quests, because they're all over the fantasy books. So yay, quests! So my 4th favorite trope is the leader of the resistance trope. Now this is when there's a strong character, usually a female character, who is leading some sort of resistance. Some great examples are Katniss from the Hunger Games and Emmeline from the Winterkill trilogy. I just love a good leader of the resistance, especially when it's a kick-ass independent woman. Number 5 for positive tropes, the road trip. Now this is very similar to the quest, so it's like the contemporary version of the quest. So I mean, you can see why I love it, but I'm a sucker for a good road trip. I love road trip novels. Some good examples of some of my favorite road trips are Paper Towns, which is kind of a controversial thing. Not everyone likes Paper Towns, but I really enjoyed it and I loved the road trip. The road trip was definitely the best part of the book. And also another good road trip is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, which took a dystopian spin on the road trip, which made it really, really fun, and I love Alexandra Bracken and the way that she did that trope. Now let's move on to the negative tropes, with the tropes I'm tired of seeing. Number 1, the chosen one. I love a good chosen one. There's so many good chosen ones that I love, but I'm a little bit tired of seeing it. Why? In every book is the character the chosen one. I just want to see a character do something because they want to do it, not because it's their destiny. I'm sorry. Number 2, the love triangle. Now, don't get me wrong, I love a lot of good love triangles, but I'm kind of tired of seeing a love triangle. One of my favorite things, though, is when they tease you with the idea of a love triangle, and then they're like, no, it's not going to be a love triangle. That makes me really happy. Number 3, hidden powers. So this trope is when a character discovers that they have hidden powers that they didn't know about, or that they're part of a supernatural world that they didn't know existed, and then they're just fine with it. So that is the key there, when they're fine with it. I don't mind the trope if the character actually genuinely freaks out and is completely out of their element, because that's logical, it makes sense. A good example of a book that did the hidden powers trope well is The Keeper's Vow by Francina Simone. But I'm really tired of seeing characters discover they have this hidden secret and they're just like, oh okay, and they just are suddenly really good at it, or they're like the whole, like it's like all of a sudden they're just really good at it. And they've never known that they had the power, and they've never trained, but they're all of a sudden really amazing. That doesn't make any sense to me. Number 4, queer baiting. Now this isn't as much a trope as it is a technique, but I'm also just annoyed with it in general, so I wanted to mention it. Queer baiting is when a book or TV show or a movie baits the audience with the idea that the characters are going to be queer in some way, and then they're not. They're just not. They never make it canon, but they keep teasing you with this idea that the characters are queer. A good example of this is The Cursed Child, because the entire time it is very clear they're queer baiting with Albus and Scorpius. There are really, really clear lines that aren't meant to make you want them to be together, and then at the end they're like, oh, Scorpius likes Rose, and I'm like, no. And number 5, the coming out narrative. Now this is a very specific thing that I want to be clear about what I mean here. I love a good coming out story, and I think coming out stories in YA and middle grade especially are so important. However, that is not the only story that LGBTQIA+ people have to tell. And I'm really tired of every LGBT book being a coming out story, because that's not the only story we have to tell. I want to see more books where the characters are just queer and that's that, and it's just a regular story and it's not about them being queer, about them coming out. So I want to see more books that are about LGBT characters without the coming out narrative. I think coming out narratives are great, and I still want more coming out narratives, but I want to see more of the other kind of LGBT story, which is you're already out and you're just unapologetically yourself. Alright, so those are my 10 bookish tropes, 5 I like and 5 I don't really like, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check out 10 Things I Can See From Here by Carrie Mack, because it's really great anxiety representation and has a female-female relationship that's pretty cute. So yeah, and if you liked it, you can drop a like or a comment, or you can subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys in my next video. No wars, no funerals, and remember to stay alive.